Hey, what's going on, everybody? So I've received your questions and your topics, and now I will answer and address them respectively. So, if you want to get involved in this, follow me on Twitter. If not, no love lost. That's fine. I'm going to try and get through a lot of these. I'm still receiving them, though, so let's get going. From Ice Scorp, do you have someone you look up to, and if so, who? I have a lot of people that I look up to. I'm not sure if you mean as far as like a hero or something more, influential like that, but I mean, I look up to my parents. I look up to some of my friends, even as far as like an actual famous person, since I'm pretty sure that's what you're getting at, since clearly you don't know the people I know. Um, I mean, as far as Christopher Hitchens goes, I look up to him as far as his ability to be eloquent in pretty much anything he's attempting to articulate. He can just speak like a sniper uses bullets. He is ridiculous, he's dead now, obviously, but I still look up to him and his method of speaking, how he is so incredibly persuasive in his arguments and things like that. Because what he really made me realize is that it's not so much if you're right or wrong. People are emotional beings. It's not as like if you're in an argument, even if you know with empirical certitude that you are correct, it doesn't really matter. You're not going to convince everyone. It has to be delivered in a special way. People are pretty stubborn naturally. People don't want to feel that their own views have been subverted by someone else's. So naturally, when you hear someone speak about something that you find a divisive viewpoint, even if you do subconsciously agree with them, you're naturally going to kind of ingest what they're saying, then internalize it, and then eventually, if it is impactful enough, you will take the initiative on changing your own viewpoint. So, yeah, I guess that's more than you were asking for. But yeah, Christopher Hitchens, I look up to him a lot. Brady Beckers. What is your opinion on YOLO MC swag? That's all hashtagged. I actually have no idea what that is. Maybe I should look it up. But the whole YOLO thing, I thought that was kind of like yesterday's news. I don't really care. If you want to get a YOLO tattoo, that's just kind of a brand to show that you were retarded in, a 2-month span of 2012. That's fine. Atrioization, your presidential platform. My presidential platform would be number one, no more grape candy on Halloween, first and foremost. I hate grape candy. I really don't care for any hard kind of candy at all. There are some good ones, but I just don't like hard candy. So you know what? No more hard candy on Halloween. None of that. No more grape candy, especially no more grape soda. There was one house I still remember from being a kid. There was one house in one of the neighborhoods I grew up in, and there was one person every year who would always give out soda, and that was a huge treat because you're out there. That's like working a 9-to-5 job for a kid, going out and trick or treat and hitting all the houses 2 or 3 times. You're out there for like a 5-hour stint trying to fill up 2 fucking huge bags. But one time, he gave me a grape soda, and I didn't want to be rude and tell him that grape soda is shit, but I took it anyway, and I was really angry about it, so I put it in his mailbox after I shook it up and opened it, and that's fine. That's fine. 8-year-olds do crazy stuff. But anywho, yeah, no more grape candy of any kind or any grape-flavored anything. I just don't care for grape. If it's an actual grape, yeah, but don't you pervert the wonderful nature of the grape into something it wasn't meant to be by God. So that's my presidential platform, and I'm pretty sure I could garner most of the popular vote with that. Skysar, why are you so awesome? You should be a permanent PKA member. Well, thank you for the compliment. I don't think I'm that awesome. It's very easy to, portray myself however I want on the internet. I can be whoever. That's what people don't realize on YouTube is I can act however I want. If I wanted to pretend to be a super big racist or a bigot or xenophobe or something, I could do that on YouTube, and that would be the only tie to my life that people knew. So they would think I was a racist. But I guess I can attribute my awesomeness to the fact that I've only presented awesome aspects of my life to you thus far. Maybe I'll have to change that. I don't know, though. I don't want to lose respect. Papa Pancakes, how was your Halloween and what did you do? I actually can't answer that yet because I am recording this before I go out for Halloween. It's early in the evening right now on the 31st, and so I really don't know what I don't know where the night will take me. I'm most likely going to end up going to a bar that has a Penny Pitchers deal tonight. That should be fun. And I don't know what I'm going to dress up as. I was going to do the same thing as last year, just dress up as Jesus. But honestly, the commitment it takes to wearing a beard all night is just not pleasant. Nobody likes it. It's uncomfortable. Any kind of costume with a mask or shit like that, just not comfortable. So I wouldn't want to have to deal with taking that beard off as soon as I get to the bar so I can drink, and then having to explain to people and refix my beard every 30 seconds when they ask what I am in this weird robe. So yeah, hopefully my Halloween will go well. Our Asian Remy, I've always wondered why you didn't put World at War Zombies on your channel since the box has different guns and there's no Carpenter. Honestly, it's just a matter of what's newest. The graphics are better in Black Ops. The maps are more refined in Black Ops for the most part. They look better. And, the newer guns are more fun, in my opinion. No problem with going back and reminiscing a little bit. For the most part, I find the Black Ops guns more fun than the World at War ones. Smiggy Balls, would you rather have sex with Romney or Obama? Why not both? At the very least, if there was a threesome involved, I could put some cameras up and I could let them do their thing and slowly squeeze out of the threesome until it was eventually just those two having sex, and then I would use that film, cut out the part with me in it before, and then use that to sabotage both their campaigns so I can be president. Problem fucking solved. Pat Vuong, orange juice, pulp or no pulp? Depends on the mood, really. If I'm using it to mix with something, then definitely no pulp. But if I'm drinking a big glass of orange juice, and OJ, I've mentioned this before, OJ is my favorite beverage. No questions asked. OJ is the shit. I'm going to have to say pulp if it's like a breakfast kind of drink. Strangely enough, I usually buy 2 different gallons of orange juice when I go to the store. One with pulp, one with some pulp, not like heavy pulp, and then one with no pulp. Just because I need a little bit of variation in my life. Sometimes I mix the two, go a little bit crazy, don't judge. Name's too hard to read. If you could breathe underwater, would you live on the bottom of the ocean? Hell no. There are no women on the bottom of the ocean, and I guarantee my body is ill-suited for that aspect, and for that scenario as a whole. There's no way I could survive. Silly question. The Clay T, dope-ass fantasy pets. Also, how are you? Dope-ass fantasy pets. I don't know what you mean, really. I guess if I have to pick a dope-ass fantasy pet, I'd go with a Pokemon, obviously. But unlike the world of Pokemon, where the psychic types and all that shit, they were the good ones, I would pick Onix, because in the real world, nothing beats a 50-foot-long snake made of stone. Are you kidding me? How could that be beaten? That's what I didn't understand with the Pokemon games. It's like, somehow Onix seems weak to everything, like water, leaf, ground, just everything, just a shitty, combination of types, ground and rock. But in real life, that would shit on everything. Doesn't matter how much psychic power you got, my 50-foot rock snake is going to squeeze the shit out of you and you're going to die. Like, you're not even going to faint as a Pokemon. My opponent throws out a little Pikachu or some shit. I play no-holds-barred Pokemon battles, and so I would literally have my Onix squeeze it until it was nothing more than almost like if you contorted and crushed a tube of toothpaste until it was barely held in by the remaining skin of the container. That's what the Pikachu would be like. It's all of its, body liquefied in the middle due to the heavy pressure of my stone monster. See, I'd have an Onix, and I'd ride it to class and use it to rob banks. Okay. Jesus on the Go. What is your favorite book, and how did you come up with Mercadurka Ex Capone? I made up Mercadurka or I didn't even make it up. I was watching a Team America World Police, and it made me laugh, and I couldn't find Durka, and so I just put an M on there. And Ex Capone is because I'm an idiot, and I didn't properly brand my channel, and I figured it wasn't a big deal, because I never anticipated that it would get as successful as it has been now, even though successful is clearly a relative term. So, favorite book... I'm going to have to say the good book, the Holy Bible, really gets me through some hard times. Just kidding. Probably Game of Thrones, Storm of Swords, probably so far in my life. Or that's most likely probably due to the fact that it's my most favorite book that I've read, like in the last year, and so that always gives it a little bit more influence. So I really can't say for sure, but probably one of the Game of Thrones books, because they're just fantastic. Reflex Twitch, NHL Lockout, or how awesome Nova Scotia, Canada is. Never been to Nova Scotia. As far as the NHL Lockout is concerned, if there was a sport that I would say I cared about, it'd be hockey, but even then, I'm not losing any sleep over the lockout. Sure, maybe I would have watched a few games just to kill some time, but, I'm not losing sleep. Whatever. Omar San, why aren't you religious? I am not religious because I have yet to see sufficient evidence for the proposition of a monotheistic God, or even a polytheistic God. Any deity out there, there's just no empirical evidence about it, and until sufficient evidence is presented to change my opinion, then I'm not going to. It's kind of like me asking you, why don't you believe in goblins? Clearly people have written about goblins in the past, even way before the Bible, or goblins and creatures like that. Why don't you believe them? Well, any rational person would tell you the reason you don't believe in goblins or fairies or anything like that is because insufficient evidence has presented thus far that would reaffirm belief in such an entity. So that's why. Until more evidence is presented, I'm not going to change my belief. So, but just to say, I have nothing I mean, if a religion convinced me that it was correct, I would immediately change my beliefs. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, I'd rather, go to hell than believe in God or something like that. It sounds good and catchy, but it's not really the truth. So, anyway, that's the end of this video. Hope you enjoyed. If you didn't, then I'm sorry I wasted 10 minutes of your time.